Most people have forgotten about the country that was British Malaya, or have no idea that it ever existed, let alone the engines that ran on the rails. However, the engines are quite the interesting history tales, and I will spend this video telling you about one of the more attractive engines of the country, the Malayan Railways Class 56 Pacifics. These locomotives were built at the North British Locomotive Works in Glasgow, 6,594 miles away from their final home of modern-day Malaysia between 1938 to 1948. They were constructed to the meter gauge that the MR used and would carry mail between Singapore to KL and KL to Butterworth, being delivered in 4 batches of 11, 6, 11, and 40. The first batch was introduced in 1938 and was classified as the 01 class. The first 2 variants were the smallest of the 4, with cylinders of 12.5 by 24 inch and a length of 56 feet 4 inches. To keep the weight as low as possible, a bar frame was used with the boiler shell and the inner firebox made of nickel instead of steel. The locomotives had 3 cylinders operated by poppet valve gear, similar to the Penn T.S.R built a year later. Roller bearings were also incorporated into the design to reduce friction when moving. Despite being built to run in a seemingly primitive nation compared to the Western powers like Britain, the US, and Germany, they were more modern and successful than our locomotives in a lot of nations at the time. Between 1949 to 1954, the engines were all converted to oil burning, which meant that they could have a longer service life as oil would become more available with the advent of ocean drilling as the years went on. And, in 1955, they would be given the exclusive use of the mail trains. One reason for this was because of the easily achieved 80 kilometers an hour on the route between Singapore and Gemas. The class were all named after Malaysian towns or cities, with cast nameplates carried on the boiler, one side in English, the other in the local Jawi Arabic script, representing the predominantly Muslim ethnicity of Malaysia. However, by the late 1960s, the locomotives were beginning to be replaced by the new diesel locomotives and had been put on secondary passenger and freight work, no doubt a far less glamorous line of work than before. Despite the attempt at replacement, the class was not wiped out entirely. In fact, a still sizable number of 40 remained in service during the mid-1970s. Eventually, the class was whittled down to 1 in service, number 564.36, to Merlo. She was preserved by the Peninsular Line Services Company and restored to working order in 1996, but that is a video for another time.